Listen, that song, Jireh, You Are Enough. I didn't get enough music. I'm coming back to the next service, people, okay? So I love the band. They just crush it. Can we just put our hands together for them? It's amazing. Hey, can I start out today by just whining a little? Do you want to be my therapist for a few minutes? Is that okay? All right, then maybe if I whine, then maybe we'll do an open mic. And you guys can whine, I'll whine, we'll all whine, then we'll just pray and just close it out. It would be great, right? If you're a first-time guest, you're like, is that really what they do here? Okay, no, we're not going to do that. But I told you a few weeks ago that everything in my house is breaking down. Remember that? Like the washing machine stopped working, the HVAC stopped working, the hot water heater stopped working. My team did not make it into the playoffs. Come on, somebody. How many of you, you're in that boat? Your team didn't make it into the playoffs? Okay. Just by the way, let's just do a quick poll before we jump into things. How many of you think the Patriots are going to win? Okay. All right, cool. 7. How many of you think the Seahawks are going to win? Okay. How many of you just found out what teams are playing tonight? Yeah, that's me. Who cares about these teams? Whatever. Anyway, back to whining. My team isn't in the playoffs. Didn't make the Super Bowl, obviously. But everything in my house has just been breaking down. And so the other day, I was like, you know what? Not everything has been breaking down. At least my refrigerator still works. And I don't know about you guys, but as long as the fridge works, I can get through some stuff, okay? Because I love food the most, okay? But then guess what stopped working the moment I had that thought? My fridge. And so I don't know if you've ever had this moment, but I was like, that's it. That's the final straw. This house is under attack. The enemy is now coming for my food. And so I don't know if I should tell you the rest of the story. It probably will get me in trouble. Should I tell you the rest of the story? Okay. All right. Well, this can get me in trouble a little bit, especially since my wife is in this service. But my wife, who I love so much, she was like, honey, you've been fixing everything in this house, and the fridge is now broken, so let me work on the fridge. I will fix the fridge for you. And I'm thinking, she's not only beautiful, she fixes appliances. How great is this? But this is the part that I'm going to get in trouble. Okay, I got to be careful. So I'll talk to this side since my wife is sitting over there on the front row. Okay. Whenever my amazing, beautiful, amazing, gorgeous wife, whenever she fixes things, all she does is she reads me everything she sees on the internet. Okay, so I just get read the internet. So Stacy goes to the fridge. She's standing by the fridge and she says out loud, she's like, honey, it says it could be a fan. It could be the ice maker. It could be that, hot dog juice got on the motherboard of the refrigerator and it's all shorted out. These are all the things it could be. That's what the internet says. So what do we do now? I was like, I'm going to be fixing this thing, aren't I? I'm going to be fixing this thing and it's all good. My wife gave it an attempt. Give my wife a hand. She's amazing. So I start getting into this fridge, and I got to fix the fridge because my food is at jeopardy. And so I took off 18 panels. I found out that there was this one little fan that wasn't working. I'm like, where do you find a fan? Amazon. Come on, somebody. So Amazon for the win. I got this fan. Handyman the whole thing together, and I am grateful to tell you that my fridge is back to working. All right, it's back to life. We now have named it Lazarus because it is back to life. I'm so thankful for this fridge. And it's back in time for the Super Bowl tonight. And all I care about tonight is the food, okay? I'm talking about pizza tonight. I'm talking about wings tonight. Maybe my daughter will make her her chocolate chip cookies, which are the greatest. But since my fridge is working, can you just celebrate with me tonight by just crushing some calories in your house during the game? Can you do that with me? But here's why I tell you that story. I feel like my appliances have got me in an appliance battle right now. The enemy is attacking all the appliances. And here's what I know, and I bet you do too. Sometimes life can feel like a battle. Have you ever been there? Listen, life can feel like a battle. Sometimes marriage and dating and relationships can feel like a battle. All the time, parenting can feel like a battle. Hello. Trusting God can sometimes feel like a battle. Our bodies can feel like a battle. How we feel about our bodies can feel like a battle. Work can feel like a battle. Reaching your dreams can feel like a battle. And our electric bills this month are definitely going to feel like a battle. And here's what I know about you. You're in a battle. You're fighting some battle somewhere in your life right now, aren't you? And so today, I want to help talk to you about what do you do when you're in a battle. And I got good news for you. This is a great place to be when you're in a battle. You're in a good place right now, if you're in a battle right now. Now, speaking of right now, we are in this series right now called Introducing God. And let me just kind of tell you from my perspective, I have loved getting ready for this series. Like every single week, I'm like learning so much. I'm being reminded of so much. And so I've loved this series. Today is our last part of this series. And if you've not been with us, no worries. All we're doing is we're looking in the Bible and we're finding some different names for God that maybe you've never heard of. But these names for God tell us so much about who God is. And so let me just give you a recap real quick. So on week 1, it was Jehovah Jireh I introduced you to, which means God is our provider. Then it was Jehovah Rapha, which means God heals us. Then El Roy is the God who sees us. And today I want to introduce you to Jehovah Nissi. Everybody say Jehovah Nissi. Okay, I'm pretty sure somebody said Jehovah Nissan. And no offense if you rock a Nissan, but I drove a Nissan for a rental car last month, and Jehovah did not drive that Nissan. Let me tell you, that was the worst car I've ever driven. Anyway, but this is Jehovah Nissi. And so Jehovah Nissi, and we'll put this on the screen, what it means is God is my banner. Now, who is confused? All of us, you should be. Let me put this into everyday language, okay? Jehovah Nissi, God is my banner. We don't really make a whole lot of sense of that. It really means the God who gives me victory. And so we get this name, we were introduced to this name for God in Exodus chapter 17. And here's the whole setup. The Israelites are fresh out of slavery from Egypt. Maybe you're familiar with that story. And so they're just rocking through this desert, trying to get home. And we're going to find that they're going to be attacked by this nomadic army called the Amalekites. Everybody say the Amalekites. And at the end of this battle, now I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. The Israelites whoop up on them. But at the end of this battle, we get this name for God. And so let's look at Exodus chapter 17, verse 15. And if you don't have a Bible, I'm going to be reading out of our Bibles in the lobby. I saw some of you carrying that Bible in today, which is cool. But we give these Bibles out every single Sunday. So grab one if you do not have one on your way out. But Exodus 17:15, Moses, after this battle, built an altar right there. And he named it Yahweh Nissi. Everybody say Yahweh Nissi. Which means the Lord is my banner. Now, let me untangle a couple things real quick. Yahweh and Jehovah basically mean the exact same thing. It's just a translation issue. We don't need to unpack it. It's a little confusing, but they mean the same thing. And then banner here is symbolic of victory. Everybody say victory. Now, I thought originally that a banner was probably a like it was a flag. And so you just got Moses with this flag. Okay, no, a banner is not a flag. It is more likely a fancy stick. Everybody say visual aid. Now, this is my boy Nixon's walking stick that he got for Christmas from Mr. Gene Burton. Handmade this for him from our Millsboro campus. Shout out to Mr. Gene Burton. And this thing is so cool. It's got a cute little bear on the top. If you can see, okay, that's for fun. But don't think that this is just a cute little bear tool, because if somebody, you could use this as a weapon. If somebody, takes your Aldi cart and doesn't give you the quarter, you got to give the quarter. You better give the quarter. If they don't mess with Fuzzy Bear. Anyway, but the banner in this story was most likely a fancy stick. And so here's what would happen. We'll put this on the screen, okay? The army leader would go up on a ridge and view the battle that was going on. So we have, let's say this is Moses here, and we have the battle going on below him. The fancy sticks sometimes would have a jewel on top. This is a sapphire, most likely. And what would happen is the army leader in the middle of the battle would raise the banner, and that sent a message to everybody who was fighting below. And the message was this: hey, I know you guys can't see what's going on right now, and I know you're tired right now, but don't give up. The victory is close. God is fighting with us, and so dig deep and rally. Woo! That's what the banner was all about. And so here's what I know, okay? I know that some of you are in a battle right now, and you're tired, and you can't tell if you're winning or losing, and you don't know how to kind of get out of this battle that you're in. And I just want to remind you that he is Jehovah Nissi. He is the God who is your victory. And so I just want to raise the banner for you and say, don't give up. Keep fighting. Victory is closer than you think. God is fighting with you. And so dig deep and rally. Dig deep and rally. Because here's the thing. I believe if you take this message seriously today, that you're gonna be able to laugh again. You're gonna be able to have hope again. And you just have to just really lean into who God is and what he stands for when you're in a battle. And so I want to tell you this, and we'll put this on the screen. Don't quit fighting the battle that you're facing. Whatever battle it is, okay, your sobriety is worth fighting for. Your marriage is worth fighting for. Your health situation is worth fighting for. Your kids that are going off the rails right now is worth fighting for. Your faith is worth fighting for. Your body is worth fighting for. Your life is worth fighting for. And so dig deep and rally. And let me just tell you, you're going to be okay. Because he is Jehova Nissi. He is the God who is our victory. And so if you're taking notes today, go ahead and write this down. First idea is this. If you're in a battle, hustle like it's all up to you. Hustle like it's all up to you. Now, I'm curious. We kind of got a packed house in this service. So you can give me some feedback on this. What was your sport of choice when you were in middle school or high school? Hockey? Hockey. You're not from here, are you? Michigan. Okay. Michigan. Hockey. Don't mess with her. All right. What? Wrestling. Okay, that's another. Don't mess with this whole row. Nobody mess. The hockey player, the wrestler. All right. What else?
Marching band.
Cross country. Marching band. Let's not overlook marching band. I like that. Handball. I don't even know what that is, but go get it, Michael. All right, I like it. I guess you hit the ball with your hand. For me, when I was in middle school and high school, my sport of choice was soccer. Anybody else, like that was your thing? Soccer. I love soccer, and I don't want to brag or nothing. But in 6th grade, I was on the varsity soccer team at my school. I know, I'm sort of a big deal. Little detail, I went to a small private Christian school, and they didn't have enough kids to suit up for the varsity team, and so they made us 6th graders play on the varsity team. Small detail, don't worry about that part. But I love soccer. Now, in 6th grade, when I was on the soccer team, I remember suiting up, and I was 65 pounds of pure not muscle, okay? Like the jersey came down to my kneecaps. I was like, just a terrible part of the team. But I love being part of the team. And the seniors, though, that were on the team, they really thought us 6th graders were a big hit. They loved us. No, by hit, I mean they used to hit us with like orange peels and empty water cups and overinflated soccer balls. Like they just loved to just take us out. And so we kind of, did some, got beat up a little bit being on that team. And I'll never forget one game. We used to do drills before the game, and we did this one drill where you would pass the ball to your player over there, and that player would kick the ball in the goal. So that was like the drill. And my dad, I'm sure, was in the stands with a camcorder on his shoulder, because back then in 1994, you had a camcorder on your shoulder. My mom was probably cheering, and I'm sure the seniors were like cracking mom jokes about my mom, which is terrible, but in 1994, mom jokes were very popular. And so we're doing this drill, and the seniors thought this will be a great idea. What I'm going to do is we're going to play a game called Hit Joel in the Back of the Head with the most overinflated soccer ball we have while he's not looking. I mean, this is a great game, right? Is this a great game? No. And I remember the seniors that did it, and they still live around here. Daniel, Primo, and Eric Gay, if you're watching, guess who's got the mic now, guys? All right, so anyway, I'm just doing this drill. And they decided they're going to drill me in the back of the head. So I'm running this way. And from behind, listen, this ball my head just got hit like a comet. And so I went straight into the dirt. And this is 1994, okay? There was not a blue tent or a cart or smelling salts. My coach was like, get off the ground, Tice. Rub some dirt in your ear. You'll be fine. And so anyway, that's why my SAT score was what it was in high school. It's Daniel and Eric's fault. Okay, anyway. But I tell you that story because isn't it true that life sometimes just blindsides us? Like you don't see it coming, and all of a sudden you find yourself fighting a battle that you didn't ask for. And so this is kind of what happens, okay? So you have the Israelites, they're in this desert, and listen, they're 30 to 45 days out of slavery. And so they're just fresh out of this slavery thing. They're walking through the desert. It's warm, and I would love some warm weather right now. Even if I'm stuck in a desert for a while, that sounds pretty nice to me. But they're in this desert, and they're going to be attacked by this nomadic army called the Amalekites. But here's the thing. They're just walking through the desert, and these Israelites do not know how to fight for themselves. Think about it. They've been in slavery for hundreds of years. You know what they know how to do? They know how to make bricks and Birkenstocks. That's all they know how to do. But the fight's going to find them. And so let's look at this. Exodus 17, verse 8. It says, while the people of Israel were still at Rephidim, the warriors of Amalek, what did they do? They attacked them. So the Israelites did not go looking for the fight. The fight went looking for them. Can you relate? And so the fight found them. Now, what I think is interesting is in the book of Deuteronomy, we find out the battle strategy of the Amalekites, okay? So the Amalekites, they fought dirty. And so what they would do is they would sneak up behind any caravan group of people, and they would take out the women, the children, and the elderly people first. Now, if you're a woman, a child, or an elderly person, can you just say, I am offended right now? Because they looked at you like you were the weakest link. And so they were trying to take you out. And I'll just tell you this about God. I don't know this for sure, but I don't think he likes it when people mess with grannies. And so God's like, listen, we are going to take out these Amalekites. All right, we're going to send in our very best brick makers that are, rough and tough for this battle. And so let's look in verse 9. Moses commanded Joshua, choose some men to go out and fight the army of Amalek for us. And tomorrow I will stand at the top of the hill holding the staff of God in my hand, or the banner of God in my hand. So just put this together. Moses is like, hey, Joshua, I want you to fight. Like, I want you to hustle. Like, this is all up to us. But while you're hustling, I'm going to go up on this mountain and I'm going to raise this banner and I'm going to be like, God, would you take out these granny snatching little turkeys? And so that's what happens, okay? Now, I want to ask you a question. In order for the Israelites to win this fight, do they have to get up off their rear ends and have some skin in the game? Yes or no? Yes, okay? And the reason why that is because sometimes God fights for us, but sometimes God fights through us. We got to have some skin in the game. And sometimes I feel like we're just like, I'm just going to let go and let God. I'm just going to take a godly nap and let God do what he needs to do. Okay, no. We have got to fight for our life. Listen, the team that wins the Super Bowl tonight, it's not going to be the team that just goes up to Levi Stadium, opens up the bus door, walks out and says, hi, I'm here. Where's my Super Bowl ring? No, the team that's going to win is the people who bust out of the bus and they're drooling, and they're like, I'm going to take these people out like they mess with my granny. They're the ones who are going to fight. Those are the ones who are going to win. And here's the thing. If you're in a battle right now, if you want to win that Super Bowl, if you want to win the relationship Super Bowl, the marriage Super Bowl, the parenting Super Bowl, the vice you're struggling with Super Bowl, we have to get up off our rear ends and we got to have some skin in the game. And the reason we got to do that is because your enemy is going to fight dirty. Your enemy is going to try to sneak attack you. And so we got to dig deep and rally. We got to rally. Now, maybe you're like, okay, motivational guy, like that's a rally, okay. But I don't know how to do that, so what do I do? And here's what I think, and we'll put this on the screen. If you're in a battle, we got to marry our hustle with God's muscle. We got to marry our hustle with God's muscle. And I want to show you 5 different ways to do this, okay? So we'll put this next slide up on the screen. I made these emojis so I could, relate to the youths. And then somebody told me that youths don't use emojis, so boomers, enjoy your emojis. All right, so anyway. So when you're in a battle, pray. And maybe you're like, I don't know how to pray, and it's uncomfortable, and I don't know what that looks like. I always tell people, just talk to God like you're talking to your best friend. Just tell him in your words what's going on in your life. And the difference between God and your best friend is just everything. Because God can actually do something with what you were talking to him about. And so pray. Another thing is read the Bible. And I know people come here and they're like, well, I just want you to read the Bible to me. I like it when you do it. And I like reading the Bible to you all, but you have the most powerful book in the world at your fingertips. Literally, it's on your phones. And so log off of TikTok for just 10 minutes a day. and log on to the Bible app or the Read Scripture app and read the Bible. And then if you're in a battle, definitely worship. I want you to turn your personal vehicle into your personal club Jesus. I want you to be bumping to some Jesus music in your car. Because here's the thing. If you're in a battle, you know what song is not going to help you? Everybody in the club getting tipsy. That doesn't help you in your battle. Like, no offense, Shabuzi fans, but like turn on something else if you're in a battle or not, whatever. Another thing is be grateful. I think gratitude is the secret weapon of life. And when you think everything is bad in your life, but you force yourself to look for something good in your life, man, that makes the battle a little bit better. And then the last thing is remember. Here's a poll. How many of you have been in a battle before in life and God brought you through that battle? Is that an all skate? That's all of us? And if God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, you're going to be okay. And so don't panic, okay? I want you to use this like you are a Navy SEAL. Everybody say, I'm a Navy SEAL. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people wonder if I'm a Navy SEAL, mainly because of my muscles. Just put it, I've never been a Navy SEAL. But I do know that Navy SEALs do this drill. And there's this drill that their wrists are tied together, their ankles are tied together, and then they're pushed into a pool that's over their head, which is why I will never be a Navy SEAL. Okay, I would drown in 60 seconds or less. But Navy SEALs are trained to be able to survive that situation for 24 hours. And here's how they train them, okay? So they're pushed in the water, but they're trained to not panic. And when they're on the bottom of the pool, when they need a breath, they're just trained to push up and calmly float back down. And then when they need a breath again, I bet you can guess what they do. Push up, get a breath, and slowly float down. A good Navy SEAL can do that for 24 hours. Not me, but a good Navy SEAL. Here's the thing. We need to look at this like a Navy SEAL. Here's what I mean, okay? You're in a battle. You want to panic, but don't panic. When you're in the bottom of the pool, you just push up. God, I'm praying to you. I need your help. Push up again. God, the Bible says, cast all my cares on you. I'm going to do that right now. God, I really like that Michael W. Smith song. I feel like I'm surrounded, but I'm really surrounded by you. Oh, that's a good banger. That's a good one. That's a good one. God, I'm really grateful for the air in my lungs. In fact, actually, I need air in my lungs. God, I remember when you got me out of depression in 2013. Oh, that was so great. I could use another helping hand. And you're just taking a breath every single time. Listen, if you're in a battle right now, don't panic. And I want you to marry your muscle. You got to push up. Marry your muscle with God's hustle, okay? And so we pray, we read our Bible, we worship, we remember, we are grateful, we push up, we take a breath. We push up, we take a breath. We push up and we take a breath. And what are we doing? We are hustling like it's all up to us. But the good news is, it's not. It's not all up to us because he is Jehova Nissi, the God who is my victory. And so part one is hustle like it's all up to you. Part two is where it gets real good. It means trust God like it's all up to him. Trust God like it's all up to him. So how do I want to start this story? All right, so if you are new here, you may not know this, but we have multiple campuses in Sussex County. We have our Millsboro campus, which our Millsboro campus, I think, my mom's here on the front row, I think they turned 45 this year. And somewhere in that range, okay, all I know is they're close to middle age, okay? So that midlife crisis is coming. I bet you our Millsboro campus, they might buy a church van with, flames painted on the side this year, supercharged, it's just a midlife crisis, church van, whatever. We have us, we are 14 years old as a campus here in Rehoboth. So we're a teenager, that's why this place is painted black, and we have a fog machine, we're 14. Then we have our newest campus, Fenwick, they're 6, okay? So one day they will paint their auditorium black and also get a fog machine when they're teenagers, but for now they're 6 years old. And Fenwick is doing great. This summer they actually had to add a second service. Now, little insider information about when you preach at the church. If you preach at Fenwick, you also preach at Millsboro on the same day. So you preach in Fenwick, then you get in your car, you drive to Millsboro, you preach there too. So when we added our second service, nobody knew if there was enough time to preach 2 times in Fenwick and then make it to Millsboro. So our leadership team at the church was like, hey, Joel, on the first Sunday, since we don't know how this works, how about you find out how it works and then you tell us how it went? I'm like, don't make me the guinea pig. Listen, I'm the slowest driver on the staff. This sounds like a job for Nate. Like Nate speeds, he's a sinner. Let's let Nate do it. But no, it was me, okay? And so anyway, maybe you heard me, I told this story one other time, but I preached 2 times in Fenwick that first Sunday of 2 services there this summer. And then I get in my car and I had to run across the parking lot. I preached and I run across the parking lot to get in my car. I look at the time, it's 10:31 and I'm in Fenwick. Now, the issue is Millsboro, their service starts at 10:30. I'm in Fenwick at 10, I'm the preacher. And so I did what any good pastor would do. I sped like I was driving Miss Daisy on Red Bull, okay? I'm going crazy. I'm driving 80 miles an hour while texting the entire Millsboro staff. And I'm like, help! Stall the service, add a worship song, take communion, do anything, okay? Because I'm thinking, the pastor's kind of got to be at the church. I mean, that's like going to Chick-fil-A and asking for a chicken sandwich and then be like, yeah, we don't have chicken today. Like you got to have anyway. So I'm driving, this is how bad it was. I was driving like a New Jersey person. No, I was driving crazy. I almost got in a head-on collision. It was crazy town. I pulled into the Millsboro church parking lot. It's 10:55. My mom is standing out there like waving her arms, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, you remember when I got hit in the head with a soccer ball by Daniel and Eric? Like, it's their fault. Next thing I know, I'm standing on the stage. They basically, seconds later, of getting out of my car, I'm on the stage. I have 300 people looking at me, and I'm like, you will not believe what I just went through, guys. And then by the way, I forgot my whole message, and that was really fun. But whatever, no big deal. I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience. I would love to do it never again, but whatever. But I tell you that because afterwards I thought, I got to get to church because church depends on me. Small problem. This place, just so we're clear, this place does not depend on your boy. This place depends on one name, and that is Jesus. He's the one who turns the lights on around here. And if you're in a battle right now and you're racing through whatever that battle is right now, I'm just here to tell you that battle does not all depend on you. Come on, I know the weight that you think you're carrying. You think it's all on your shoulders. I know there's certain things that are keeping you up at night right now. I know there's some things that are making you edgier than a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But those things that you're thinking are all on your shoulders and are making you crazy and are keeping you up at night do not all depend on you. Now, we got to keep hustling like it's all up to us. But we got to keep trusting God like it is all up to him. And sometimes I write messages for myself. This is one of these messages that I wrote for me because I really struggle with this. I'm the kind of guy who I can't sleep at night because I'm solving all the world's problems in my head. Anybody else do this? And so I just lay there a lot of times at night. I'm just I'm worrying about the church. I'm worrying about the new building project. I'm worrying about my family. I'm worrying about all the things. And occasionally I'll look over and my dog Charlie, he sleeps with us. He's an 8-pound little demon. And I look at Charlie and he's just like, and I'm like, how is he so, he doesn't even know where his next meal's coming from. He's over there sleeping. And so this week, Wednesday night, I could not sleep. I'm just laying there. I could not sleep. And Charlie, he's conked out, spooning my leg or something. I don't know where he's at. And it hit me. Maybe you should just depend on God a little more, Pastor Joel. And so I did this thing. I literally prayed this prayer. I was like, God, since you're going to be up all night anyway, I'm going to just shift a lot of this stuff on over to you. And then I'm going to try to go to sleep. And then we'll talk about the stuff in the morning. And I went to sleep like that. Who needs Ambien when you got a 24/7 God, people? And so, anyway, I'm going to repeat this until at least I believe it. God has already got the memo about whatever battle you're facing right now. God has already got the victory plans for our battles. Okay, God's already got things under control. And have you noticed you don't control much? Listen, when the UPS guy comes to my door and knocks on my door, or at least walks up the steps and my dog hears that, I can't control my dog. My dog, Charlie, turns into Satan. He just, and if we can't control our dogs, we don't control much. And so we better get used to a God that is totally in control. And so we got to marry our hustle with God's muscle. Now, here's the good thing when we do this, and we'll put this on the screen. When we show up, that's when God shows off. When we show up, God shows off. So let's go back to the battle. You got Joshua. He is in fight mode. You got Moses. Moses climbs up this ridge, and he's in hold up the banner mode. And so check this out. This is in Exodus chapter 17, verse 11. It says, as long as Moses held up the staff in his hand, so they're in the middle of this battle. As long as Moses did this, the Israelites had the what? The advantage. The Israelites had the what? The advantage. But whenever he dropped his hand, the Amalekites gained the advantage. Everybody say advantage. Now, I want to paint the picture of what happened here. We'll put this picture back up on the screen. Okay, so you have Moses. He's got two guys with him. He has Aaron, which is his brother, and then he has Hur, not Ben-Hur. We don't know who this Hur is. He's just not Ben-Hur. Anyway, so he's got these two guys with him, and you have this battle raging below, and occasionally Moses would lift up his hand, and then the message sent out to the Israelites was, hey, I know you're tired. Don't give up. Okay, the battle's raging, but we're winning this thing. Keep fighting. Victory is close. God's fighting for us. Dig deep and rally. And so they would fight like crazy. But occasionally, Moses' arms got noodly. He got tired arms, so he would go like this. And the Amalekites would get the advantage, and they would start winning. And so Moses would lift his hands again, and the Israelites would start winning, and that was their unfair advantage. And so this went back and forth. So winning, losing, winning, losing. And then finally, there's this beautiful scene where Aaron and Hur come next to Moses. They help lift his hands up for him because he can't do it himself, so that the Israelite army can win the victory. And by the way, I just feel like this is a beautiful picture of what believers do when we're next to each other and we lift each other up when we're struggling. That's something Celebrate Recovery does every single Thursday night. It's people in brotherhood and sisterhood who are lifting each other up when they are struggling so that they can find their victory. Anyway, cool little side story. But they do this. Moses does this, and the Israelites win the fight. And then confetti shoots out of, the stadium ceiling, and there was an MVP, and the MVP says, I'm going to Disney World, and then a Doritos commercial plays. I'm just kidding, that's a Super Bowl situation. But here's the thing. I love this about this story. When God's people relied on God, they had an unfair advantage in the battle. And you need to know this. You and me and all of us, when we rely on God, we have an unfair advantage. Turn to your neighbor and say, you got an unfair advantage. Tell them like you're kind of excited about it. You got an unfair advantage. Listen, you do. And the reason you have an unfair advantage is because today I had the honor of introducing you to Jehova Nissi, which means God is your victory. And I just got one question for you. We'll put this on the screen. Are you taking advantage of your advantage? Are you taking advantage of your advantage? Or another way to put this is, are you focusing on your battle or are you focusing on your banner? Because a lot of times we're focusing on the battle. We're like, I don't know how I got in this situation, and we just kind of got hit out of nowhere, and I don't see a way out, and I feel outnumbered, and I don't think I can make it out of this, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and we're just focused on the battle. Or you can focus on your banner, and you can say, I have an unfair advantage. And I'm going to keep my hands lifted even though the battle is raging around me. Even if my arms are tied and my feet are tied, I am not going to panic, okay? Because I am a Navy SEAL. And I am going to just push up and take a breath. Push up and take a breath. Remember that exercise? Okay, you push up. Okay, God, I need your help. I'm praying to you. Push up again. God, I know your word says you are to cast all my cares on you. I am casting all my cares on you. God, I love that song, Jireh. You are my provider. I would sing it to you, but I got to get some breath. Push up again. God, I am so grateful for all the things you brought me through before. I'm going to remember all those things before, and I'm going to know that you are going to get me through this. You are Jehova Nissi. You are my victory. And I want us to walk out of here knowing we have an unfair advantage. We do. We do. Because he's Jehova Nissi. He's the God that is our victory. But that's not all. You know what else God is? Okay, we'll put this on the screen. He's Jehovah Jireh. He's the God who provides. He's Jehovah Rapha. He's the God who heals. He's El Roy. He's the God who sees you. And he is Jehova Nissi, the God who is our victory. This is our God. I hope you have been introduced to a different version of God than you knew walking in here. Because this is our God. He is too big for one name. He is the name above all names. And so, this is our God. And so here's what I want to do to wrap up this whole series. I just want us to say these names out of God after me, okay? So just say this: Jehovah Jireh, my provider. Jehovah Rapha, my healer. El Roy, he sees me. Jehovah Nissi, my victory. He's your victory. Now, I'm going to end with this. Cool thing in this story is we got a guy named Joshua. And Joshua, his name means the Lord saves. It's a cool name about Joshua. Here's what else is cool about Joshua. If you translate Joshua, which is in the Old Testament in Hebrew, if you translate that to Greek in the New Testament, do you know what the name Joshua is? It's Jesus. Joshua is Jesus. Jesus is the Lord who saves. And so maybe you walked in today and you never said yes to the one who saves. I just want to introduce you to Jesus. He saves us. He is this God, but he's not only this God, he's the God who saves us, and he can save you.